Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever, hopefully weekly series, the Raw and Smackdown Recap. Smackdown literally just ended, and I am joined today by my good friend Bret Litke. How are you doing today, Bret?
Walter, I'm feeling fantastic. And I'm feeling fantastic because I don't know how often this happens, but it's very rare that in January, I, who live in Edmonton, Alberta, can say that I'm actually experiencing much warmer weather than you in Chicago. So I'm not complaining. I'm liking that.
Oh, yeah, it's awful here. That's why I'm staying indoors as often as possible because it's basically subhuman temperatures out there.
Something like minus 50, is it not? Minus 40? What the hell is going on over
Yeah,
there?
which equates to minus 60 Fahrenheit.
Well, that's pretty insane. Um, But this week, the action was pretty hot in WWE.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, it was. We got a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yes, we do. Starting off with Raw.
I
And do you
I
have
think.
any like particular highlights of the show?
Well, I think we have to start it off with probably the biggest news story of the day. It did happen. It was interesting. So on Raw, we all seen it. Dean Ambrose comes out after Seth Rollins has this exchange with Triple H. I was very optimistic. I thought Dean killed it. I thought he looked
Okay.
so strong. And then we find out today that he's not going to be with WWE after WrestleMania. Like, what do you make of all this?
Uh, I'll believe it's not a work when I see it, but I think they're doing a good job of trying to convince people. And I think they might work it a lot like maybe they should have tried to work the Punk angle in
Mm,
2011. Like,
very true.
maybe even like allow him to go wrestle for other places.
They could. They left a lot on the table with that Summer of Punk angle. They didn't get risky enough, and so I do agree with you. I think as soon as I heard this, and it's like, oh, they're announcing it 2 months in advance with his 90-day no compete clause. It'd probably be closer to 3 or 4 months. But I've never seen another wrestling company do this, or at
No,
least WWE. I've never seen them do this. Have you?
no, I have not. Like, usually it's just like, hey, his contract expired today. He did not renew it.
Hmm.
And there you
Yeah.
go.
So, I mean, I guess that's a pretty big headline. It ended up dominating the news cycles today.
Oh, yeah.
From what it sounds like, I mean, there are a lot of people who are saying, no, this is probably legit. And if that is the case, then I can only think of one of two reasons. One, they want to get out ahead of it. They want to just be like, you know what? We're not going to be dishonest. This is what's going on. Or two, and this is my more manipulative or ulterior motive line of thinking, is that WWE is like, hey, you know what? You might end up going to a rival promotion. We're ensuring that there's absolutely no surprise about that. You're not going to get that whole, oh my God, he showed up. No, he might be coming. Sorry, done. I don't know. Am I out of line there thinking that or what?
No, that's actually a very good idea, especially with AEW out there.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, because I don't know what other reason, what they would gain from announcing it this early,
Right.
other than, like, I don't know. I don't know. Pure
Yeah.
speculation.
It's very strange.
It is. But I guess on the flip side, I mean, Dean might go. It is what it is. We'll get into more of that later. But I guess the other biggest topic from Raw is we got the answer from Seth Rollins that a lot of people were expecting. What'd you think about that?
Um, I think it was the obvious choice, even though I would not have been against seeing Bryan versus Seth. But and I also really liked the beatdown that
Mhm.
Lesnar gave Seth
Yeah.
because I think it showed Seth as being like this incredibly resilient contender who may not be able to be put down with all the Beast has.
I think that's a damn good point. I think Seth has a little bit better mic skills than Finn, maybe even a lot better mic skills.
Yeah.
And he wrestles, he's just as good as a wrestler, if not better. So I think we'll get an extended version of what we've seen with Finn versus Brock.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm pretty excited about this. I think this has pretty damn good potential to be, I think it's going to be a pretty good feud, but I think this match at Mania, it could be next level.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think it could be a lot like the Punk Brock match from SummerSlam 2013, but ramped up because it's Mania.
I'd love to see a match on that level. Oh man, give it to me. So no, I loved it. I absolutely loved that. Other than that, I think our next biggest angle and biggest story from Raw, I think it actually took the cake. She got a bigger pop than Rollins we got our answer from Becky too. And I got to say, I absolutely loved that Triple H earlier on in the show was like, yeah, and Becky will make her decision tomorrow. It was subtle. Everyone was like, okay, we'll see her tomorrow. And then she shows up after Ronda's match. I was like, oh yeah, that's one of the biggest pops I've heard in a while.
Becky is the most over performer on the roster by a mile. She's killing it in every single possible category. And I think she might be the hottest thing in the company, and I don't think it's close.
Oh yeah, she is a superstar. She is a star, and she's made it pretty clear. Well, okay, now here's actually, we can get into this because this is a headline. The headline is Becky Lynch, and she is a headline. I think she's been the #1 trend on Twitter for like 2 days. No one can stop talking about her. There's an article about her in the New York Post today. So she shows up on Raw yesterday, makes her intentions clear. She's coming for Ronda Rousey. But she shows up on SmackDown tonight, and she gets into a little bit of a dust-up with Charlotte Flair. So the question becomes, what do we see now going forward? Is she going to be on both shows? Is she going to be Raw exclusive? I think she's ready to handle the ball of whatever they give her. And if it means helping to carry Raw with Seth, I think she'll have no problem.
Yeah, I think in the build-up to Mania, they're going to have... I would think they would only have her on Raw to interact with Ronda, and everything else she would do, her matches, her in-between feud, is going to be on SmackDown. Such as the Charlotte stuff, which isn't over clearly. They built story with her knee when she was walking out to her car, and they asked, why didn't you get looked at? And she was like, I don't want to spend more time on the shelf. It's implying that the knee's a serious issue, and it could be a storyline going in as far as Mania.
I like that they're doing that. It gives her a sympathetic edge. And Becky, she's a damn good storyteller. And I was feeling for her in the Rumble, even like after that, it's like, okay, she's so damn good at what she does. It's easy to get behind her. And I like that they are doing this. Man, the crowd loves her. I love her. Like, who doesn't love Becky right now? There are a few. If you check the Facebook comments, there are a few people. But.
Yeah. You'll always have those outliers that try and just make sure that everyone that wants to have a good time doesn't have a good time.
Exactly, man. This train is fun to ride on. We've seen this before where someone is on SmackDown and they start to get that rumble, and all of a sudden they shoot and they move over to Raw. Now, the biggest example of that's probably John Cena. Now, I'm not saying Becky Lynch is John Cena, but I'm saying she's getting some pretty damn good pops. And if she continues this momentum, man, and she becomes the star of Raw, there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling high enough for her right now. And her Twitter game she's a 21st century superstar.
She mauls people on Twitter. It it's funny. You will just see, like, anytime anyone tries to say something to her on Twitter, people just be like, no, what are you doing?
She doesn't hold back. She said that in 2018 she found her voice. She clearly did. I love seeing it. She gets the audience now, because the audience now goes on Twitter, they go on Facebook, they want to, like, they expect you to be your character on there, and they want to see that interaction. Like, I love it. Today that I was like, holy crap, look at this tweet. It's awesome. I retweet it. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it.
Oh yeah. And Becky's been not only elevating her own game, she's been elevating the game of anyone she's in there with. I don't think I've ever seen Charlotte cut better promos than she has with Becky. I don't think I've seen Asuka do as good a character work as she did with Becky. And I don't think I have seen a better Rousey promo than the one she cut in Becky's face after Becky came out.
It's fascinating to watch. And, they say, like, a rising tide rises all ships. And it is true. Like, when competition elevates, you either go big or you go home. Seems like they're responding well. And I know we're going to get in this tomorrow when we do the Unlimited Royal Rumble review. But personally, I thought Royal Rumble 2019, the women stole the show. And I'm not saying stole the show. I'm not saying that it was all due to Becky, but goddamn, I think it had a lot to do, like you're saying. It's just fantastic to see. There probably is one more headline from Raw that we could go to, but I think we'll get to that one later, and it has to do with the person you just mentioned. Let's move over to SmackDown. It just ended. I want to touch on this. A new WWE Championship belt.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's neat. It's neat. The strap is not leather. It's made from hemp. And the plates are made from a naturally fallen oak tree. It fits right into Daniel's character. It was outstanding. And I don't know if anyone other than me that was watching SmackDown caught this, but when Eric Rowan was out there, he was wearing an Ailstorm shirt, which they are classified as pirate metal, and they're the weirdest band ever, and I love it.
This is like a very unique tag team. Even his name when he came out, did you see the recycle sign in the O for Rowan?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's his new sign on the Titan.
That's phenomenal.
I have to say, I love that they didn't just treat this like, okay, it's just he's going to turn heel and we'll just do it. They're getting creative with it. They're finding new ways. Even the AJ Styles feud leading up to Rumble was good. And now this new belt, the promo he cut, talking about Daisy the cow. Daisy the cow being killed to make the WWE title belt, throws the old WWE title belt in the trash, staring right into the camera. I don't think it's a stretch to say that we are seeing some of Daniel Bryan's best work in his career right now. I'm not saying it's the best, but man.
Why, you can argue the stuff he did on the Indies was better from an in-ring standpoint, but from a character work standpoint, far and away the best stuff he's ever done.
And it's funny because he's being him. He's saying what he probably is thinking and just taking off the nice tone on it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And that led into another headline, which is we've got our main event of Elimination Chamber settled, and that is going to be a 6-man match between Daniel Bryan, Mustafa Ali, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, and who am I missing? AJ Styles. Man, if that doesn't sound like a fantastic chamber match, I don't know what is.
Yeah, you just put all those guys in that chamber together. It's going to be magic. Mustafa's going to be flying all over the place. Jeff's going to jump off something ridiculously high.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel's going to be avoiding everything at all costs like a good heel champion should. Randy's going to hit about 10 RKOs in a row.
it's going to be fantastic. I honestly, SmackDown's been gaining a ton of momentum the last, it's been good for a while, and it's gained a lot of momentum lately, and Becky's been on there, and Mysterio and Andrade have been killing it. And now you've got Mustafa Ali and Samoa Joe, who's just so extremely talented. I don't think he gets enough love from anyone. The dude...
He cut a 30-second promo tonight, and it probably was the best promo of the night.
Yeah, it was like savage, on the point. Oh, man. Samoa Joe, he deserves some love. I'm glad he's going to get in this match. And I think big things are coming for him. But, man.
I do, too.
Only 2 weeks to build it up, because what is it, February 17th that they're doing it?
Yeah, I think so.
So a couple weeks, but I don't think they're going to need much. I mean, the story is the competitors in the ring, and oh, man, I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. That is my number one match with anticipation right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then I guess the only other big headline that came out of SmackDown, and you correct me if I'm wrong, was the whole R-Truth thing. Maybe you could fill us in on what happened.
Like, the night kicked off with R-Truth versus Nakamura for the U.S. title. Truth rolled up Nakamura, but like, I don't know if it was by design or like if that wasn't the planned finish, but Truth was still going to go over. But it looked like they just got really confused, and it looked like they kept fighting after the 3 count. But R-Truth is your new U.S. champion, and then Rusev comes out and challenges Truth for a title match, and then he gets beat. So, and then Rusev and Nakamura beat down R-Truth. So Rusev, who has a ton of fan love, turns heel for literally no reason other than, I lost a match. And R-Truth is the United States champion literally 2 days after Nakamura beat Rusev for it. Explain this one.
I don't know. I mean, R-Truth got the short end of the stick at Royal Rumble. Fair enough.
Yeah.
What a hell of a way to reward him with 2 quick wins against Rusev and Nakamura. Now he's the U.S. champion. I like R-Truth. Like, I know a lot of people find him a little hokey or whatever. I like him. But it seems really strange to me that he beats both of these guys for the U.S. title, and now both these guys are just going to move on and go into a tag team feud. I guess it's a way that they can move on and get some new scene with the U.S. title, but from a logic perspective, it does seem a little rushed.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Who knows? Maybe something pretty great comes out of it.
Right.
But,
yeah. Maybe you get R-Truth in some sort of really good match at Chamber and then something at Mania and give him a nice, good Mania match. Because it's not like he's young and he's been there for a long time.
It'd be nice to see. So, yeah. And I guess the one more headline, but just a quick note because it's not filled yet. There's 3 teams announced for the women's tag team elimination chamber match now.
Yes.
There's Nia Jackson, Tamina, Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, and then tonight on SmackDown it was announced Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and I love that tag team. I love those two. I don't care what anyone says, so I was happy to see that.
Yeah, Mandy Rose is a great heel, and Sonya Deville. Like, if they let her loose, she could do great things because she's awesome.
She's pretty good talker. I have to say, she's really establishing herself, and I don't know. I think she's gonna establish herself even more, and she could, one day have a pretty good singles run. So I like what they're doing. I even like tonight how they brought back the old videos from like 2015 with Naomi. Yeah. I think that was a pretty neat way of like showing another angle to the feud from Mandy's perspective. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. And on the topic of Mandy Rose, I found it kind of amusing how throughout the entire rest of the night, Corey Graves was just obsessing over it.
I don't mind him as a commentator. I like when he does stuff. So no, that was good. So I guess I don't know. Unless do you have any other big headlines? I think that's probably the main point. So why don't we get to our great, good, bad, and ugly? We'll each give one item from either Raw or SmackDown for each of those. And I guess we could start with the good stuff. Do you have a great moment lined up? Which one that you thought?
From Raw, I think it would be between Seth's opening promo and Becky's promo, which I'd probably give it to Becky's promo for how hot the crowd was for her.
Yeah, that was a pretty damn great moment. The crowd popped, ended up saving Rousey after she cut, and we'll get to that.
Oh.
A pretty bad promo before. I think that's a really great one. Mine, I was gonna say Becky if you weren't, but after watching tonight, I have to say Daniel Bryan's main event promo and SmackDown, new WWE Championship. It's creative, it's new, it's original. I love it. Do you have a good moment? Something that wasn't quite great, but
yeah, the interaction with Dean and Triple H. I really liked that. I really liked all the little jabs Dean was taking. And I think with the whole weird announcement of him not renewing his contract in 3 months and the whole thing of him going after someone who is known as an authority figure within the company, I think that's going to play into the angle going forward.
Yeah, I think that is pretty neat. Yeah, I guess my good. Oh, there's a couple ways I could go with it. This is going to sound a little weird, but I'm really happy to see Elias turn back heel. Yeah, he did that on Monday Night Raw. I thought that whole segment was a lot of fun with Jeff Jarrett, and then Road Dogg comes out, and Elias knows how to work a crowd. I thought it was a great way to turn heel and, reestablish himself as a bad guy, which is what he should be. So that would be my good.
Yeah. They cut that out of the Hulu version, which is the one I watched because I was working yesterday.
It was a very fun segment. Very fun. You got to watch that. Do you have a bad segment? I'll give you my bad. I'm just going to be straight up. I know it's not bad from the show. But Dean Ambrose leaving in 4 months, if he actually is leaving, I'm giving that my bad right now. Because it's so as good as that segment with him and Triple H is. It's man, is that really going to be the last, feud we see? I thought he was just getting momentum again, now he's a bad guy and he's got this swagger and he's going to be gone in 2 months. So that's my bad.
Yeah. He had a really rocky start to his heel turn, but he's since they stopped doing the hokey, afraid of disease thing, he's been building up momentum. He's a great talker, and they could have used this feud with Triple H, who is really good at making other guys look good when he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
They could have used that to just keep pushing him forward and forward to where he could be a legit main event heel threat.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a bad from the two shows?
The opening part of SmackDown.
You weren't a fan?
The whole U.S. title thing. I like that R-Truth is champion. Don't get me wrong. I think that's good. But, man, I thought they executed it pretty poorly.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it could have been executed a lot better. And is it fair if I just say that both our uglies are the Ronda Rousey promo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even watch. I was legit like this. the whole time. I was like,
like it started off decent enough, but like the crowd rattled her so bad.
yeah, not
And
inexperienced.
she stumbled over her words, and like she couldn't keep it straight at all.
No, it was bad. It was cringy to watch. And I think you watched her before. She came out, she got into the middle of the ring. She started talking quietly. She started like with some line about, you want a dream. And it didn't sound like she even believed what she was saying. The crowd picked up on it right away, and she was done. But then you
Oh yeah.
compare it with after, and she was pissed off. She just wrestled a pretty damn good match, actually, her and Bailey. She
Yeah.
wrestled a good match. Becky comes out, she improvises a bit, and her promo was night and day. It was like 10 times better.
It was so good. Like, that's what I wanted to see from her, like, from the start. Like, go up to these women and be like, I could kill you with my pinky. What do you think you can do to me? What do you think you're going to be able to do to stop me? You can't stop me. I'm going to break you.
And as soon as she said that, everyone was like, yeah, okay, there we go. We don't want to hear you talk. You got to dream big. Like, no, get out of here. Stop scripting these people and making them say these completely stupid things. Let them improvise just like they did after that. She was way better. Becky fed off of it better. I hope that's what we get from this feud. I don't want to hear any more hokey promos. Give us raw, real dialogue. That's what I want.
Yes. That's what I've wanted from really the entirety of WWE for so long. Like, these promos that they cut so often just sound like things people don't say.
Exactly. It's not real dialogue. It's just this would be perfect. And that works in a Netflix special when there's no live crowd screaming at you. But man, those fans, they were hot for Becky. They wanted nothing to do with her. And that'll be a good lesson for WWE because it's this has happened too many times now with other people as well, where it seems like they're caught off guard. Their fans are getting too loud. Like they gotta know. So yeah, that's our ugly. That's our ugly for sure.
Absolutely.
So then why don't we go right to the 3 stars of the week? This can be from Raw or SmackDown. We'll give our top 3 stars of the week. You can kick it off with, why don't we start with our 3rd star? Do you have your 3rd star?
My 3rd star. Even though he didn't get much time, I'm going to say Samoa Joe. Like, he capitalizes on his minutes every time he's out there, whether he's out there for a 15, 20-minute marathon match or a 30, 40-second like interruption promo. He capitalizes every time, and he did it again tonight. He threw out some savage lines, and he delivers them with such force that you can't help but take notice. So my number 3 star is Samoa Joe.
I think that's a good one. Like I said, I think if you watch that final segment SmackDown, it's hard not to come away thinking, you know what? Damn, Samoa Joe did pretty damn good. My 3rd star will be Daniel Bryan. He wasn't even going to be in my top 3 stars. Then that segment happened. I was like, okay, he's up there. I thought the match between him and AJ wasn't as bad. Like some people said it was bad. I didn't think it was bad. I thought the crowd was just dead for it because of its placement in the card. But, for that segment, he gets a 3rd star for me. How about your 2nd?
2nd, and so just to clarify, are we taking the entire week or just Raw and SmackDown?
Let's do Raw and SmackDown, although they're probably... No, screw it. Throw Rumble in there. Throw Rumble in.
Okay, then my number 2 star is Seth, because I thought he did a phenomenal job in the Rumble. I loved the like little mini match at the end they always do with him and Braun. And I thought his promo to kick off Raw was fantastic. I thought it felt real. It felt emotional. It felt like he was speaking from the heart. And that's what That's what no other promos in WWE seem to sound like these days.
Yeah, it was genuine, very genuine. Actually, we probably have the same top 2 stars because number 2 for me is Seth as well. You win a Rumble, you show up on Raw, you cut a great promo, you start your feud with Lesnar. Thought he looked great in that segment. 2nd star for me. Let me guess. Your 1st star is Becky.
Yep.
Hard not to, man. She is a star.
Yeah, great match with Asuka at the Rumble. Comes in, gets pop of the night when she comes out and replaces Lana in the Rumble. Wins the whole thing, sells the knee like a champ, comes out on Raw, gets reaction of the night, cuts a damn good promo, sets up her versus Rousey, comes out on SmackDown, gets pop of the night, cuts a great promo. They do the angle with Charlotte. It's intriguing. Everything Becky's been doing since SummerSlam has been just absolute solid gold.
She's on another level, and she's still killing it in the Twitter department. So man, oh man, yeah. I think anyone that was watching WWE from Sunday to Tuesday, if you walked away thinking that there was a bigger star than Becky, I don't know what you're watching. So, yeah, she's my 1st star too. I love it. It's nice. It's refreshing to be able to say, not only is someone like just catching the wrestling world on fire like she is, but to say that it's a woman, man, like, this is awesome. It's a great time. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, again, we're going to cover it tomorrow, so don't tell our glorious leader, Matt Meffy, but I thought she stole the show on Sunday night as well with her and Asuka. I thought that match was the best of the night. That was my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely agree with that.
It might have just been because I was really invested in it. I know a lot of people like Finn and Balor, or Finn and Brock. I know a lot of people like Ronda and Sasha, but to me, I loved the Asuka Becky match. So,
yeah, I love that one too.
So let's go with Raw first. What would you give your grade of Raw? Overall grade?
I'd give it a solid B. Like with every Raw that has been since 2012, the length is near unbearable.
Yep. No, carry on.
But I think they maximized the things they needed to maximize on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd probably give it a B too, somewhere in like the 70-ish range. I thought there were some really good moments between the Seth moment and the Becky moment and the closing segment. I actually even liked Bobby Lashley and Finn. I think that's going to be something all right.
Yeah.
I thought the women's tag team match was all right. So there's, enough to like there. But again, like you said, that length can sometimes hurt it. If it was a 2-hour show with all those great segments, it would have been one hell of a Raw, but some naturally going to be some filler. What about SmackDown? What'd you give SmackDown?
I slightly preferred Raw, so I'll go with a B-. I think between the opening part and just some other confusing bits like the stuff with Gallows and Anderson and like the lack of having Sanity on the show when they could have fit in perfectly in that Fatal 4-Way tag, I think that lowers it just a notch below Raw for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, and yeah, so if I probably have to agree. I hate agreeing. It makes for bad podcast. No, I'm kidding. But I'd probably agree. If like I was giving it like a 70%, that's probably what I'd give it.
Right.
It helped having Becky on the show. I was really it sucks because you compare with the last 2 Raws where SmackDowns where we got Mysterio and Andrade. That feud continued, but it was just a beatdown. So, probably the weakest SmackDown in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, but
not a bad show.
Stuff. No, not a bad show. There's some interesting stuff. I think it sets
Yeah.
itself up well for next week and the week after.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, so now we're going to go to our concluding segment of the night. And that is where I ask Walter 3 questions. They have to do with future booking of the show, with things that are looking forward. And Walter is going to give me the answers off the top of his head as best as he can. And I'll either agree or hopefully disagree. So, question number 1, Walter, on future booking. How do you book Dean Ambrose knowing supposedly he's gone at the end of WrestleMania? What do you do?
I think you take that fourth wall and you take a wrecking ball to it. You have Dean go after everyone backstage. You have Dean go after Kevin Dunn. You have Dean go after Vince. You have Dean go after creative members. Hell, even have Dean go after agents. Just have him name drop and insult everyone backstage and say that they are the ones who are responsible for him not being champion because they don't position him in anywhere where he can possibly succeed, and he's going to go somewhere where he can succeed, and he's going to take the WWE down in the process, but he's going to leave WWE by pinning Triple H's shoulder to the mat at WrestleMania.
Well, your sell job of that storyline got me excited. So I got to say, I'd hate to disagree, but I hate to tell you that they're actually just going to have him work house shows for the next 4 months. Sorry. It's a possibility. I know.
I hope they are petty enough to do that. They are petty enough to do that if this is real.
Yeah, they sure are. I hope that they're just like, you know what, screw it. Let's try and do everything we can to convince him to stay, just like they did with Punk. Let's let him run wild. Well, there you go. Question 2. How much is SmackDown going to be hurt going forward if Becky does indeed leave SmackDown and go to Raw full time?
See, I think they'll be hurt a bit, but I don't think they'll be hurt that much because I think if Becky's going to go over to Raw, I think a Raw girl is going to come over to challenge Asuka. And I think that girl could be Ember Moon, and I think that she could be...
Wait. She just hurt her elbow. She's out for a while.
Oh, that's right.
She just announced it today, this afternoon.
Oh.
Who could they go with?
Sasha? Maybe? But then that would mess up the whole Sasha Bailey thing.
That'd be a pretty good match, though. You have to admit.
Yeah, I would love to see Sasha Asuka. But I think they're going to gain someone in the women's division to challenge Asuka. So, depending on who that is, I don't think they'll be hurt that much, but they'll definitely be hurt because Becky's the hottest thing that they or anyone else has right now. So, losing that would definitely harm them.
Yeah, I think they are going to. I think they'll feel it. There's been a few moments on SmackDown over the last couple months where it's felt like Becky kind of carried the show a little bit here and there. They aren't going to be able to rely on that. But as I was just saying to you before the show actually started, SmackDown's developed sort of this almost SmackDown 6 roster again, where they've got these really damn good wrestlers that they can mix and match and have wrestle each other. And so if they kind of go that early 2000s SmackDown route where it's just like, man, we're just going to give you quality matches all the time, hopefully that makes up for that loss.
I think it would.
Finally, question number 3, and I think I know your answer for this one, but I want to hear the excitement. It's clear now. We're getting Seth. We're getting Brock. I don't think that we are going to get anyone else coming into this feud. I think it is locked, set in stone. This is it. This is your WrestleMania main event for the Universal Championship. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you think this feud can be? So, in your mind, potentially, scale of 1 to 10, how good it can be. And that does include the match at Mania. Why don't you describe, what you kind of want to see out of it, what you're kind of expecting, and maybe how it'll look?
I think the feud has a 10 out of 10 potential because when you put Seth and you put Brock and you put Heyman in there, that's gold. Like, you have Brock come out whenever he's scheduled to come out next, and you have Seth every week before that just berating him like, I'm here, right now. Come and try and do what you did to me before, because I promise you, you won't be able to. I promise you that you can't do it. You can't do what you've done to everyone else to me, because I am better than them. And then you have Heyman come out without Brock, and you have him just question, why would Seth want to be face to face with the Destroyer, with the Conqueror, with the Beast? Just have him list off everything Brock's done, everyone Brock's taken out, like everything that makes Brock seem like the unbeatable force. And then when Brock finally does show up, I think you should have a week where Seth gets the upper hand on him physically. You have him curb stomp him right into the mat, and Brock rolls away, and Seth is standing tall. At least 1 week.
I like it.
And then you have to have Seth drop the line, or someone drop the line. At WrestleMania, the Kingslayer will become the Beast Slayer.
There you go. They could maybe even make that on a shirt. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Beast Slayer. Man, I have to agree. I think it does have a very, very high potential. I'd love to see them do even some, you know what I'm a sucker for? I like when they used to do it back in the day where it was like, they'd show videos of like them training outside, and you know what I mean? Like, I want to see like Seth doing that, like, because they've got a long way to build this up. Lesnar's not going to be on every Raw from January to April. So start building Seth up now. Start showing him doing like intense training and sit down interviews, and like treat it like this is and in many ways this is the biggest match of his lifetime, and just get people behind. People love Seth. I completely agree. I think this has a lot of potential, and I want to see him. I do want to see them come together at some point, like you said, and maybe Seth gets the upper hand, and then maybe the next week he's put back down, and this sort of true just struggle. But they could tell a really damn good story here. A really damn good story.
Yeah, they could. And I really think if you just let Heyman and Seth loose on the mic, you're going to have the biggest buzz around the WrestleMania main event you've had in a long, long time.
That's very true. I mean, it's going to be, well, no Roman Reigns, which unfortunately due to medical reasons, but it does freshen up that main event scene. And man, oh man, I think people are going to be excited. I'm hoping that Brock comes back to Raw a bit sooner than he usually does for the build. I'd like to see him there like 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out. They got to get creative. Like, I don't want to see, I want to see some true emotion, and I hope they're getting more creative with other stuff. I hope this feud, they find a way to give us like, just make it truly raw, like emotional. Yeah. Just give us that.
Like have Lesnar break away from his whole thing of, oh, I'm just standing here with Paul, and then I attack you when like your back is turned. Have him rush Rollins after Rollins says something, and like have him push over Heyman or something like that. Exactly. Like have him push over Heyman to get to Rollins, because Rollins just hit that button, whatever that button is.
Have him show up at Brock's farm. And it doesn't have to be his actual farm. Have Seth show up at Brock's farm, like a make-believe farm, whatever. Have him show up there. Get inside his head for once. Brock's always getting other people's head. Have Seth go there. Have him knock on the window.
Like, do it a thing where it's like they've already announced Brock's going to be there. Brock's in the ring, and Heyman's like, okay, Seth, do you have anything left to say? and then just like have it cut on the Titantron to like in a place that you would be able to think is Brock's farm in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Saskatchewan. Have them roll in there, have them just like, yeah, Brock, I'm here. And you always think, I found it. You think you're so seclusive. Screw you. I not only did I get the answer to this, I've got the answer to you at WrestleMania. And just have him go start smashing things. You don't have to have him attack White. Obviously, he's a face, but you could have him go, like
just like
you could do something pretty interesting with that. And
just
you could carry on.
Like have him like smash Brock's truck
and tractor, and Brock would be pissed because he's a seclusive guy, he's a secretive guy, and I'm sure Heyman could sell it. I want to see things like, doesn't have to, again, not corny, but realistic things that would get under his skin and would make this that emotional feud. I'd love to see them go there.
Oh yeah.
Well, but yeah, so I definitely agree with you, and I think with that said, do you have any other final thoughts for the week?
I think if it keeps just going up from here, we could have one of the most anticipated Manias since probably Mania 30.
I think you're right there. The product, I mean, it was in a rough spot not long ago. SmackDown was all right. Raw was tough.
Oh,
it's getting better.
Bad.
It's getting better. And I think we're already starting to see the seeds of competition benefiting WWE. And I think you're right, man. I think if things, again, as Matt Meffy would say, we're being unrealistic. You're giving WWE too much credit. But if things hold, we're going to get a damn good show. We're going to get and we're going to get some damn good TV leading up to it. I can't wait.
Yeah. WrestleMania season is one of my favorite times.
Yeah, this is the best time to be a wrestling fan. And it'll be cool, too, because after WrestleMania, AEW gets ready to launch, and we could have a fantastic summer leading into SummerSlam as well.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff. And hopefully, throughout all those weeks, we'll be here to guide you along, give you some recaps, folks, give you our thoughts, give you our analysis, and make sure you tune in tomorrow night. Do we have a time for that, Walter? Do we have that set yet?
We do not, and everyone here who is wishing they knew the time can blame Matt Meffy for that. And his Twitter handle for you to tweet him is down in the description box below. Yeah,
tweet at him. Tell him, he's call him every name in the book, but then get on the Unlimited channel at like 9 in the morning and stick around. We probably won't be on until 6 p.m., but you want to be safe. You just want to be safe.
Right.
It probably end up being like 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're online tomorrow, you want to find out our thoughts on the Royal Rumble, we'll give them to you.
And with that said, for Bret Litke and myself, we will talk to you later. If you want to find us on Twitter, our Twitter names are down in the description. Follow us there. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here. And we will talk to you all tomorrow.